So, one of those days today, not so good. Not so bad, but, you know, not the most enjoyable of days. The thing is, I had to give back some grades for a speaking exam that my students did yesterday. And some of them passed, some of them did really, really well, but others didn't pass. So, awkward situation in the classroom when you have to give back results. And, some of them are going to be really unhappy. Um, the speaking exam we put students into a group of three, and they have a discussion on a given topic. We provide them with a question, a series of prompts, and then they have to discuss this among themselves for a number of minutes. And two of us objectively grade their performance according to a set of criteria. This is not the greatest form of speaking exam in the world, to be honest, but you've got to think in terms of fairness, standardization, and practicability. It's fair because all students are graded according to their performance. They all have equal chance to contribute, and everybody gets the same degree of preparation. They don't have the same questions as each other, but it's all something that they've studied. So, yeah, you have to sort of say, well, okay, everybody has a fair chance. I mean, okay, this particular form of assessment, it favours those strong personalities, the extroverts, people who like to talk, and it's not so good for people who are a bit shyer. But, we have to assess several hundred students at the same time, so, you've got to do what you've got to do. So, this morning in class, 9 o'clock went into class, ended the first lesson, they're like, come on teacher, the other students in the other classes have learned their grade, what are we going to learn ours? I'm like, well, okay, I'm going to give it to you now. So 10 o'clock they got their grades. I had to continue teaching up until about 1 o'clock. So, you have to sort of think, well, this is going to affect the course of the rest of the morning's teaching and class time. And it did. Alright, so, they get this little piece of paper with a grade written on and a few comments about what they did well and what they did, what they can try and improve on next time. But it's pretty tough on those that failed. And it creates quite an atmosphere in the class. So it's, even after 10 years of doing this, it's something I absolutely dread, because it just creates this situation in the class where, some people are elated, some people are really sort of down in the dumps. And even though we assess them according to a set of criteria, which they know about, they're told about, we go through it with them, it's still pretty tough in the cold light of day when you just get this numerical grade on a piece of paper saying, oh, your speaking skills aren't good enough, or your speaking skills are excellent, and they're all in the class together. Yeah, it's not always fun doing this job. Well, it shouldn't be fun, this part of it, but yeah. The worst thing is, of course, that to make it completely as objective as possible, I'm not one of the people grading them. So I get this piece of paper, which I give to them and say, here's your exam result. And they're like, teacher, why did I get this? And I say, well, I wasn't in the room. I didn't even witness your performance. So all I can go on is what the comments that the person assessing you has said, And that's really tough, You say, oh, especially if you know that in less pressurized situations they can speak quite well and they have a good level of speaking, and they just haven't performed particularly well on the day. That's when it really sort of, that's really tough. So yeah, trying to teach after that is it's not much fun. I was just looking through my blog, and I wrote a post about this last year, how to let students down easy, giving back exam grades, and bloody hell. Sometimes if you write a blog, you think, bloody, what was I thinking? You write some rubbish. Cold light of day, it just doesn't work like that. So yeah, really, if you know, I'm sure a lot of you have been in this same situation, and if you've got any advice for me, you know, I might be a seasoned old professional, been doing this for a decade, but you know, it's still really awkward. And if you've got any good ways of doing the kind of thing I had to do today and easing the, uh, the the pain of it, then you know, please leave a comment. Let me know what you do. Okay, because trying to teach after having given you know, a poor exam grade back to a student is it's just really heartbreaking, and it's really tough, and you know exactly how they're feeling, and there's so little you can do to you know, to try and perk them up. And it's just, you know, what I did today was just like I said, look everyone, some of you done great, all right, hopefully you understand why. If you haven't done so great, it's not the end of the world. This is not you've failed the entire course at all. You've just, you know, one aspect of it you haven't performed so well. Let's move on. Let's think about what else we can do. Not an ideal solution, but you know, that's the best I had today. So please, if you've got a solution or any advice, just, you know, let me know. Okay, thanks in advance.